Hey guys, and welcome to another episode. Please do subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you know when more content is released. Today we're going to be talking about mediation. Now this isn't the process of having someone mediate a meeting, almost as a go-between, but the process the media applies to arguably everything we see without even knowing. Mediation is, at its core, a process of control. Control from the producer or owner of the product. And it has two stages: selection and construction. And if you can understand how this works, you will genuinely look at all media in a very different way, having a more of a wits about you, or a take it with a pinch of salt perception of that media. One of the best examples to demonstrate mediation in effect is through the medium of newspaper or magazine. The producer of any magazine, as we know, will have a final say. They will control the look and tone, that mode of address, of the product in its final form. It will not go to print or be approved until the producer gives it their thumbs up. And this owner or producer will have an editorial team underneath them who work for them. And that's everyone including writers, researchers, designers, the marketing team, proofreaders, etc. And they will follow what the boss says. They have to. It's part of the brand ethos, the way of thinking. Firstly, to explain the selection part of mediation, the media product, in our case a magazine, it has lots of elements to it. Images, text, color, font types, a tone in the way of its writing, etc. So decisions have to be made on these. Selection of said options have to be chosen. So let's imagine we are a magazine team and we want to cover an international event. The royal wedding of Harry and Meghan, let's just say historical event. Now as a magazine who is going to include this event on our front cover, we need a main image, arguably the most important part of the magazine. Now we could send a photographer to get the perfect image we're looking for on the day of the event, or we could buy what's called a stock image, an image sold by an online service with options to hold a license, to use that image, for example, being allowed to print it, include it in a commercial product, like us, a magazine. Here we have the very famous stock image service Getty Images. Other services are available. And these guys provide images and video content to news and media institutions all over the world. Everyone from BBC, Sky News, and other mainstream companies will use such a service like this to find content they need in a very quick and convenient way. So if we search for the royal wedding of Meghan and Harry, we're going to find about 8,000 images, over 100 pages of search results in seconds. Again, very convenient and saves us a lot of time in not using our own photographer, who, let's be honest, might not get the right shot. They might get it with a slight blur to it, they wouldn't have got the right head turn, eyes might be out of focus, anything could have gone wrong, so our own photographer might have been a waste of time. But services like this will allow professional photographers the ability to upload to Getty Images and sell their work, with of course Getty Images taking a cut, so a win-win. And as you can see here, the quality of the imagery is very good, and selecting any one of these images shows us the buying options. Now £345 is not cheap. The small print shows the restrictions and advice in how we can use the image if we were to place it on our magazine before going to print. So this ultimately would take care of the selection part of that mediation process. We have chosen the image we want to present of that event to our audience, captioning everything we think it symbolizes in that single picture. Now there were of course others available, but the audience might not ever see those, therefore our selection stage is important. We're controlling what the audience does and does not see. We've determined, in our opinion as the producers, what was important, what was suitable, and also what we felt was not relevant by discarding the other 7,000 odd images from that result as an example. We would then consider our second stage of the mediation process, construction. Here we have the option to modify the image before the audience sees our final version of it. Now, we might change the cropping to frame what is important in our opinion. We might boost or lower the saturation, the color, to give this image more punch or warmth. And we're also thinking about what type of mood, or tone, or again, mode of address do we want to convey. We might also change the brightness, the contrast. We might modify the sharpness, the removal of blemishes, the changing of the focus by blurring out sections of the image to draw the attention to certain parts for the audience. Now, this image already has a lovely, almost depth of field to it. So we're drawn to Meghan rather than Harry. And perhaps this is part of the reason it made our selection process. So there's lots we could do, if we wanted to change the image and create that desired outcome, that construction. Again, placing the final result in front of the audience as what we would like them to see. Not necessarily seeing the original unedited image version. We're in control of what they do and don't see. So hopefully this outlines, with this as an example, the clever process of mediation. First selection, secondly construction. And we could argue that all media is mediated. Everything has been chosen, picked out, given a sense of importance over other unused content, and then edited to create that final outcome preferable to the editor or people in charge, the version they would like you and I as the audience to be shown. So now when you're browsing magazines in the shelves of shops, watching the latest films, thinking about, again, actors, who's been selected, who hasn't, picking a birthday card, or even scrolling social media and admiring the professional imagery of the posts in front of you, do consider, has this media product in front of me been through a mediation process to end up in the current state? Almost always the answer is yes. And we do this ourselves when we take selfie images or even holiday pictures. We're going to crop and reposition the shots. We're going to take multiple shots, aren't we? And then select the right one. There's that selection. And then no doubt we're going to edit, perhaps apply those filters. So again, the same thing applies for us and also within that world of media. So keep your eyes peeled and never forget you are simply being presented somebody's preference at the end of the day. Guys, I hope you found this episode useful. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay safe. Take care.